Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Steve McCrawley coming to another video. This time, we're going to be coming at you with some singles on Sun and Moon. It's been a while since I've done these, so I'll explain a little bit why. But when the game first came out, I beat it pretty quickly, and then I tried to have some singles with people, but I could never find anyone. And then just the other day, I was like, yeah, I want to do it. So I made a team and went on, and I was actually able to find quite a few battles. Then it struck me that the game had just come out. Pokebank wasn't even out for Sun and Moon yet. And then, nobody had their Pokemon, so nobody was going to want to battle. But now that everyone has their competitive Mons from 6th gen that they can use, plus they've bred more, plus all this stuff, so I'll probably be doing some more singles if I can find people to battle. So if you want to battle me, go ahead and let me know. But I'll give you a quick rundown of my team. Scizor has Tailwind. It's going to be Tapu Koko. Just Tapu Koko. It's going to be Dragonium Z Hydreigon, Choice Band Arcanine, and then my Regenerator Core, Tangrowth, Slowking. So in battle, I realized, oh wait, I don't have any entry hazards. I forgot that Stealth Rock and Spikes even exist. But it's not the end of the world. Maybe on another team. I don't know if they're still good or not. But my opponent here had a team Porygon Z, Greninja, Metagross, Tapu Lele, Dragonite, and Malamar. So I don't even know if he has any Pokemon that could have any form of entry hazards. But I decided to lead Scizor here just because he doesn't have any fire types. I probably might be able to get up a Tailwind turn 1. Help speed up my Pokemon. I don't know. I don't even know if Tailwind's any good in singles. I've never used it in singles before. I never used it in doubles before this year. So I don't know what it goes with in the meta. But this Scizor is from Gen 6 because you can only get Tailwind on it from the move tutor. So turn 1, I do see a Z move, and I was like, what? That is the normal Z move. So why is he going for a normal type attack into a steel type Pokemon? But I do see it is a Z conversion, and that is terrifying because that is +1 in all of his stats, plus he's going to change it into the ghost type, which is not good, especially with Scizor. So I didn't know if he was going to go for a Trick Room or what, but I should have gone for a Swords Dance there, because a Swords Dance Bullet Punch would have done quite a bit of damage. But I'm thinking he's going to go for some sort of Ghost type move since he's now Ghost type. And I switch into my Hydreigon, who takes way too much damage. So I go for Dark Pulse. I was like, there's no way he's going to stay in and risk a Dragon type move. But he does. So no Z Draco Meteor for me. Because he has his Tapu Lele in the back. I was like, nah. He might even just switch into Tapu Lele straight up. And I didn't want to waste it, but I guess he didn't care. So I bring in my Tapu Koko here, and I make a new move. You're going to see Electric Seed is going to activate. And I was like, oh, I forgot to change the item on this bad boy. So, and what's funny is, I was in a lobby before for another battle, and then I realized when I was selecting my battle team, Hydreigon didn't have an item. I was like, oh yeah, I need to give Hydreigon the Z Crystal. So I had actually messed up the item with Hydreigon as well, but I did fix it. But I forgot what Tapu Koko. So after this battle, you can bet your bottom dollar that the first thing I did was change his item. But he's going to bring in his Metagross, and I'm like, I go into my Scizor, who's going to resist the Steel type move, and my physical defense isn't too bad. So we do see a Meteor Mash, and that did a lot more than I thought it would, but it's not the worst thing. And he goes for Hammer Arm. I was like, oh yeah, he gets access to that too, doesn't he? So Scizor is going to hang on with just a little bit of health, and I get a Bug Bite off. I'm going to do some decent damage, but I'm going to switch out since he does have... I was saying he has Lele in the back, but then I realized, oh yeah, Bullet Punch isn't even going to do anything to Lele. But I switched into Tangrowth, who's my physical wall, and Bullet Punch is going to do very little to me. So I'm going to heal up with the leftovers, and my opponent is going to switch out here. Maybe just because he realized that he wasn't going to be able to do too much damage to me. But he brings in Dragonite, and I go for knockoff, just because it was going to be super effective against the Metagross, and it covers any switch. So I'm going to knock off the Lumberry and break the potential multi-scale. So that was a really good turn for me. I was really happy with how that one turned out. But with the way he brought this in, I was like, is he going to have like Fire Punch or something? So I switch out Tangrowth into Tapu Koko, who's going to be my answer to this Dragonite anyways. So the terrain is going to go up, and he's going to go for Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance is absolutely terrifying, especially since now he's probably going to outspeed me. So I didn't know what he was going to do. I went for Thunder Wave. Maybe not the best choice here, but I didn't know if he was going to outspeed me or what. And I was like, I didn't know what he was going to do to me. I was like, what is this Dragonite going to be able to do to me? So he goes for Steel Wing in the end, and I was like, oh, that was a lot of damage. That's not what I expected. But I do go for Volt Switch. It's like, I didn't know if he was going to switch out or not. That did quite a bit of damage. If I had Life Orb like I wanted, and I went for Dazzling Gleam, it might have been enough to pick up the knockout. But I go in the Arcanine here. He showed he's physical. He went for Steel Wing. He was probably going for another Steel Wing. So that's going to be an intimidated, resisted Steel Wing. But he ends up getting fully paralyzed, so I just go for Wild Charge. With the train, it's going to be more than enough to pick up the knockout. Keep in mind, I am Choice Band, so I am now locked into Wild Charge. So he's going to bring in Malamar here. I don't know much about Malamar. I know it gets Contrary. That's it. I switch out here. I don't know if that was necessarily the best thing, because Wild Charge and Flare Blitz would have done the same damage because of the terrain. It would have been 1.5 boosted. So he does. I do switch into my Koko here, who can get a nice Dazzling Gleam off and deal some good damage. But the terrain is going to disappear. Not the end of the world. But I do go for the Dazzling Gleam. And that did a lot less than I thought. I don't know if it's just because I wasn't Life Orb, or if he was Assault Vest, or what. But Psycho Cat's going to pick up the knockout, and Tapu Koko is going to go down. So I bring back in my Arcanine for the Intimidate, since he has shown that he is physical. And then also, Choice Band Flare Blitz should be doing quite a bit of damage here. So that's what I go for. I do outspeed, and he's just barely going to hang on with like 1 HP. So he goes for Superpower. Deals quite a bit of damage, but it's to be expected since I'm not bulky. And I didn't know if he was going to stand or not. But I just go for Flare Blitz, and I was like, I don't know if Arcanine's going to be able to do much more after this with what he has left on his team. He does stand, and he lets it go down. So, I mean, if he swapped it out, it was going to go down to pretty much anything anyways. And now he's going to bring in Greninja. So I'm thinking he's going to go for like Water Shuriken or Scald or some water type move. So I go in the Scizor, just kind of to sack it off. And he ends up going for Ice Beam. So he was probably predicting this switch into Tangrowth. So Scizor is going to go down. This is kind of when I realized that Bullet Punch wouldn't do anything to Lele anyways. But we do see that he is Life Orb. So I was like, that's actually good to know. Now I can do something a little cheeky here. So I bring in Arcanine, not for the Intimidate, but just kind of to bait out a water type move or something. So I switch out into Tangrowth to soak up a potential water type move. But he ends up going for Extra Sensory, which isn't too bad. But I was like, I wonder why he hasn't gone for Scald yet. I mean, he hasn't needed to against Arcanine, but a potential burn on a switch would be nice. So that did a lot more than I wanted, which is to be expected because it wasn't resisted. So I switch out Tangrowth. It has Regenerate, so it is going to regenerate a little bit. And I go into Slowking. I was like, well, if he goes for Ice Beam, if he goes for Scald, if he goes for Extra Sensory, they're all going to be resisted. And I'm a special wall, so it's going to be doing very little. So eating that up, you see he's actually taking quite a bit of damage here from the Life Orb already. So that's kind of my idea is kind of make him kill himself with Life Orb, because I can't really do anything to him. He does go for Dark Pulse, so now we know full move set. And then we don't. We're missing a move. Assuming the last one's Scald. But I go for my own Scald here because I knew I'd be able to survive. And we do like 50-60% total, but we get the burn, which is huge. And at this point, with the burn damage from this turn, Greninja only got one turn left. After Life Orb, burn, goodbye. So here I'm comfortable with sacrificing my Arcanine. So I feel like I played decently right here. I mean, luck did play a little factor, but just a few more switches around would have been able to do the trick anyways. But Life Orb's going to bring it down, and then Burn's going to finish him off. So I didn't really have... Tapu Koko might have been my only answer to this thing, but it's gone now. Thank goodness. So he's going to bring in Metagross. I go for Tangrowth. So, I mean, either or, Tangrowth or Slowking would have been good here. But we do see a Meteor Mash. That did a lot more than I thought it would. I go for Knockoff. That also did a little bit more than I thought it would. But definitely not enough to threaten any knockouts. So, I'm going to restore a little with the leftovers. And I'm going to switch out here. I don't want it to go down. I need to abuse Regenerator as much as possible. So, Slowking's defense, it hasn't been trained to have the best defense, but it is going to be resisted. So, that did a lot more than... I don't know if it did a lot more. It did a decent amount. But here I'm just praying he doesn't get the attack boost. And I'm just hoping that for a miss. That way I can attack him myself. So, Tangrowth comes back in. He does connect with the Meteor Mash. Please don't get the attack boost. Alright, still no attack boost. And definitely can't take another one. So I switch out. I'm going back into Slowking, who's restored quite a bit. And then here we get the Meteor Mash. We do get the Avoid, which is huge, because now we can attack him, because unless he crits, and even if he does crit, Meteor Mash I don't think would even pick up the knockout. So incoming, yeah, there's no, a crit wouldn't even have picked up the knockout there. So I go for another Scald, and sure enough, we do get another burn. So I get, that is a pretty important burn, because now he's gonna, not necessarily because of the damage decrease, but just because he's gonna get knocked out. So I do stay in because I know that I can live another Meteor Mash, especially after the burn, and I just go for a nice slack off here. So almost back up to full health. If I switch it, I'll regenerate back up to full, and then the burn is going to take care of this lovely Metagross for me. So a couple of lucky burns here, but I mean it is Scald, so you gotta expect it. So he's gonna bring in the Lele here. Psychic moves, I mean, Psychic trains up, but he's not gonna want to go for a Psychic move into me. So we do see Shadow Ball. I was like, oh boy. So very little damage. I go for another Scald, my strongest move, and I do get a third burn. So 3 for 3 with burns. It should have been 1 of 3. Well, I guess unfortunate for my opponent, to say the least. The damage decrease isn't going to matter, but the damage over time is going to be pretty big. Another Shadow Ball coming in, but once he gets a crit, it's not going to matter. So I go for Slack Off. At this point, I can just Slack Off, stall him. But these Shadow Balls are doing like 30-35%, so this will allow me to get off another Scald, speed things up a little bit. But Slowking, very good Pokemon to have at this point. So he ends up going for Nature's Madness just because he knows it does a little bit more than Shadow Ball would. So I get another Scald off. One more will do the trick. I do want to keep Soul King around though, because I don't know if Tangrowth would be able to take. Well, definitely wouldn't be able to take a Psychic from this thing. So I do switch out into my Tangrowth just because I didn't know if Shadow Ball would pick up the knockout. So I go in the Tangrowth just so I can regenerate a little bit with Slowking. I do survive the Shadow Ball, which is great. I'll take as much damage from the burn as possible. So at this point, Tangrowth is just going to be a sacrifice. He's going to go down to the Shadow Ball. So he might have predicted... I mean, there was no need to go for Psychic anyways, but he was probably predicting us with the Slowking to come back in. But the terrain's going to disappear. Slowking's going to come back in. Almost full health. So even a crit Shadow Ball wouldn't do the trick. And the two-man carry right there. Slowking coming in clutch. So things got a little rough, like right from the beginning when I lost Hydreigon, just because it's one of my bigger sources of damage. But I was able to Regenerator or abuse Regenerator quite a bit. But I mean, it was that, but just the Life Orb on Greninja and his inability to predict properly. But it was fun, I'm not gonna lie. See, I've found single battles fun. I just hate when they're like stall fests that last like 30-40 minutes. Just because that's not what battling is to me. Some people might enjoy it, I don't enjoy it. But an enjoyable battle. So I definitely made some big mistakes there. I let Hydreigon go down, and then Tapu Koko not even having the correct item. So I'll be doing some more of these, I'm sure. That way I can learn a little bit more just about the Pokemon in general. Get to know the singles meta and stuff. So go through this learning. But that's pretty much going to be it. If you guys want to battle me on singles or doubles or whatever, let me know. If you got any suggestions for me for a team or how I can improve, also go ahead and let me know. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.